is still there.
Okay.
2022 is still there.
All right. Sifuna, what is your way forward?
Now, before I come to the way forward, I just want to say one thing, Trevor, that Kindiki and Ruto and Gachagua, they best pray to their God that they remain in power forever. Because the seeds that they have sown, the Bible says, you will reap what you sow. We had a tradition in this country where we didn't go after retired presidents. We didn't see the sort of vengeance and vindictiveness from a regime that people would be elected and they would just proceed to serve the people. It is very clear that the main agenda of this government was to visit revenge on the people that they perceived maybe treated them badly when they were in power. I want them to pray that they stay in power for long, forever actually, because I am not a prophet. But when I close my eyes, I can already see that headline. I can already see that headline saying, ex-CS Kindiki protest police visit to his house. I can already see the breaking news item, Ruto addressing the press at night outside his mother's house because the police have come there. That is the seed that they have sowed, a seed of hatred and revenge and vengeance that they have watered with the blood of the innocents. I pray to God that they remain in power forever. Otherwise, what goes around comes around. As a young leader myself, I wish that we would see a new country. I would love there to be a country where it doesn't really matter what somebody did or did not do during their time in power. You leave them be. When you are elected, you move forward. I would not want this vicious cycle to continue, because in the end, what is going to happen is that people are going to run for office and perpetuate themselves in power only either to protect themselves from revenge or to perpetuate revenge on people who they perceive as having wronged them. Having said that, on the way forward, I am a very proud member of the Catholic Church this entire week, this entire month, because the way forward was pronounced by the Catholic bishops. And I want to thank the church, the Catholic Church, for being bold enough to speak truth to power. This question of organizations, of people trying to straddle the median and claim, oh, both sides are wrong, there can never be a middle ground in the face of injustice. The Catholic Church has proffered a way out of this entire crisis. You don't have to talk to Raila. I have said this many times. Frank, Raila has no problem. The problem in this country right now is a listening problem, that the people in power don't want to listen to the people who elected them. All that needs to be done is for Ruto to listen to the people. And the Catholic Church spelled out two easy ways out. Number one, repeal the Finance Act, because that's what the people are saying. That's what the people are saying. If you're saying we are the greatest beneficiaries of this, why don't they pull the rug from under our feet and do what the people want? Just listen to the people. The church said, repeal the Finance Act because it is visiting untold pain on the population. Number two, they said, remove your police from protests. That is the way out. Because we will always defend this constitution. And then, Trevor, there is no one in Azimio who's looking for an elite settlement. Because as I've said, the beef is not between these two leaders. The only thing, maybe the argument would be that the people feel, and this is something that is subjective, I'm sure people will object, that maybe Raila Odinga is the best person to represent the views of the people in that particular discussion. But at the end of the day, that discussion doesn't need to happen. All that is required for this crisis to end is for Ruto to listen to the people, not talk to Raila. And Raila has said it 1,000 times. I am not aware of any intention to get anything, including the last press conference that he gave. He said he doesn't want this spoiled bread. He said it. So what you need to do is just to listen to the people. On this question of bipartisanship, Frank, I want to inform you that there does not exist anything called a bipartisan team in this country today. I personally am not aware of any team called a bipartisan team. I see this friend of mine, Mheshimiwa Murugara, sometimes issuing press conferences and calling himself a member of a bipartisan team. It is in public knowledge that that team was disbanded. I was a member of that committee. In the Azimio fraternity, we were recalled. It was disbanded. There's no one called a co-chair of bipartisanship. If you are talking about Honorable Tende Amolo, he doesn't have the mandate of the PG to have discussions with anyone. And if these discussions are going to happen, because you see, we reported here that we did not see seriousness. We did not see any commitment from Khalwale and his colleagues during that discussion. It was just tea and mandazi and jokes. And the same, I thought that the problem was with Kina Khalwale. Kumbe, as they say, the fish starts rotting from the head. Even when President Suluhu was here in the country, she was in Nanyuki here for 2 days, on the invitation of Ruto himself. And then Ruto himself, just like Khalwale, does not show up. Ruto, like Khalwale, does not engage in any meaningful discussion with her. A president of a whole country here, just idling. Just
but he was
chilling.
with her on Wednesday.
That's what I'm telling you. She was in this country 2 weeks ago. You people are aware. And she was here on the invitation of Ruto. But I can see that these people were just borrowing a leaf from their leader. Lack of seriousness on any engagement at all. So for me personally, I have said that because I know there is lack of seriousness, I wish that if there is seriousness, all Ruto needs to do is actually to just listen to the people. He can very well communicate or order his voting machines in Bunge to repeal this thing the way they imposed it. He doesn't need to call Raila on anything. Then they are saying that Parliament has failed. I agree totally. Because of the things that we have been complaining about, of the things that we have been talking here about, Trevor. Because you have a parliament, when we were elected, we had 5 more members of parliament than I think 7 more members of parliament in the National Assembly than them. Then what happens immediately? You first get members of the UDM, the United Democratic Movement, you buy them. Then they come on the other side. They manufactured an artificial majority in the National Assembly. And they don't listen to any dissenting views. When my brother Frank says they have not seen an alternative, where am I supposed to take this alternative, Frank? Because at the end of the day, I come with alternatives to Bunge. These people come with numbers. Every time Khalwale comes when there is a matter to vote, in fact, we have to plead with them to allow us to debate. I'll give you the latest example is when the report on the impeachment of the deputy governor of Siaya came to the floor of the House. We reached there and the speaker calls me and tells me, Sifuna, these people are saying we put this thing straight to the vote. You people need to agree or else I'll put it to a vote that there be no debate. This is a house of debate. People come to the house telling you they don't want to debate. They're saying put the question, put the question. If I have fantastic ideas, Frank, where do you want me to take them? These people have dismissed me from the onset because they see Sifuna, they see horns and a tail. This is the devil. They can't, nothing good can come out of our mouths, no good ideas. When we told them, for instance, because the country is facing this difficulty, please do not increase the VAT on fuel. Why is that not an idea that can be listened to? And it is not coming from me, it is coming from all the ordinary Kenyans. Kenya Association of Manufacturers presented a paper before the committee, KEPSA, civil society, you yourselves as CMD, I am sure you gave your views. 99% of the Kenyans came with these alternatives that you're talking about. They were met with numbers and orders from State House. So please don't tell us to give you alternatives, because where are we supposed to take those alternatives? These people don't listen at all, you know. So for me, really, the way forward is very, very simple. Please listen to the people. Okay. And every indication, you know, everything you do as a professional, Khalwale talks about me never having gone to present a case in the ICC and the CG which other courts. That is not the indication. Yeah. That is not what gives you the appearance or the semblance of somebody who's a professional. I have an oath, 3 oaths actually I've taken to defend this document. And the fact that you have gone to the ICC and you don't even understand the Article 37, it makes it even worse. That somebody can actually be an international lawyer who practices in the international courts and does not understand the bounds of Article 37. That you take pride in subverting the document that you swore to uphold and defend. That you actually teach this thing, but I forgive them. Because you know some of these people were professors when we had the old Moi constitution. They need refresher courses. Kindiki needs to go back to school so that he can be taught about the 2010 constitution. The constitution he still has in his head is the Nyayo constitution, where bludgeoning people was a badge of honor.
Okay. Let me bring in Mukwanja on this. Mukwanja, we saw a tweet from the president inviting Raila to talk.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. That's why I'm happy. And Professor Kitiki doesn't know law.
Doesn't. Just one thing, Frank, please. When Khalwale says we go back to the House and legislate more on Article 37.
Yes.
I'm just wondering what is not clear. What is not clear about every person having the right peaceably and unarmed to assemble, demonstrate, picket, and to present petitions? What other words do you want to, unless you want to introduce a Luhya version? That is the only thing maybe we can do. But somebody of your caliber standing, you should be able to understand plain English.